Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kim's Kozy Corner. We are going to start some seeds today in our new seed starting kit with some amazing Kim's Kozy Corner seeds. Hi, everyone. I've been working with GreenStalk on a special project that releases today. So we have a GreenStalk Kim's Kozy Corner Seed Bundle. As I thought about the different seeds that I like to grow in a GreenStalk and some of the varieties of seeds, I started working with GreenStalk on 10, and I could only choose 10, y'all. I was struggling, but I chose 10 different seeds that we are going to grow this year in our GreenStalk. Of those 10 different seeds, y'all, it's a little bit of everything. Now, everybody knows that I like to grow tomatoes up in the top of my green stalks. And I needed something that was like a micro dwarf tomato. And so I have the bush cherry falls. These are beautiful tomatoes. They're only 55 to 65 days to harvest. And you can put them in a hanging basket because they're going to kind of trellis down. So I thought the cherry falls would be an amazing tomato for us to start in our green stalks this year. Never grown that one before, but it's one of the ones that's been on my list for a very long time. The second thing that we're going to grow in my green stalks, y'all, I think another item that grows very well are carrots. And I have lots of different varieties of carrots, but this year, y'all, we are going to grow the Shin Kuro, Kuroda, Kurata, Kurata, Kuroda. Shin, and yeah, there's the words right there on the screen, y'all. This is a heat resistant and high moisture, deep orange carrot. It has a 5-inch long root with wide shoulders. And it says it can grow in heavy soil, but we're not going to have heavy soil, y'all. We're going to have Happy Frog soil in our green stalk growing this carrot right here. So in this green stalk, y'all, that we're going to set up, I'm in Southwest Ohio. I'm in Zone 6B. So some of this stuff I can't set up outside right now, but we're going to use some of these seeds and get them started. And we're going to put some in our indoor grow spaces. But this spring and summer, we'll have a whole green stalk with just these seeds in it. So that carrot will be one. And then everybody knows you can grow lettuce in your green stalk. And so I chose a red cells lettuce. I have green lettuce, I have heading lettuce, I have romaine lettuce, but I wanted to try a new variety of red. So we are growing the red cells. It's a it says fancy buttery lettuce is what it says. And it is 20 to 45 days to harvest. So it harvests very quick if you want to get it young and tender. So in the top, we're going to have carrots and we're going to have tomatoes. And then we're definitely going to have some lettuce in there. In addition to the lettuce, y'all know how I feel about cucumbers, and I need to grow cucumbers in my green stalk. So we're going to grow the muncher in the green stalks in this upcoming season. It's 60 to 65 days to harvest. It's crisp, thin skinned, right? And these are full-sized cucumbers, muncher. And it's a good cucumber just in and of itself. But we're going to need some trellising. And I like to have things trellising all around my green stalk. So with the tomatoes needing to fall over the edges just a little bit and then trellising the cucumbers, those are going to be really nice. So y'all, for my salad, I got tomatoes, I got lettuce, I got cucumbers. We can grate up some of these carrots in there as well. But in addition to those, y'all, I could only choose 10 and I struggled. But of the 10, y'all, I chose 2 peppers. One mildly spiced pepper. And so I chose the Megatron, which is a type of jalapeno. The Megatron is a colossal jalapeno, and it says it can reach up to 4.5 inches long. There's the picture of it right there. And it's great for stuffing and baking or grilling. It matures in 65 days. And so it says that Scoville heat unit is a medium hot heat because it's 2,500 to 5,000 on the scale. So that's my mildly spiced pepper, and we'll take this pepper, we'll eat it fresh. We may pickle this pepper as well in some vinegar and can it later. We may use this pepper, let it turn red, and use it in our hot sauce. We can stuff it with some cream cheese. We got a lot of things we can do with that hot pepper. And for a sweet pepper, there's so many to choose from, y'all. I probably grow 30 different varieties of sweet peppers if I could and had room for it. So I wanted to choose something that I thought everyone would love. Same way I chose the jalapeno for a mildly spiced pepper that, everybody can kind of get into it, even if you don't like a lot of spice. I thought about the same thing when it comes to a sweet pepper. So I chose the sweet belled blend. So if you're not sure if you want a red or an orange or a yellow bell pepper, and you can eat them all green before they turn, I thought that was the way to go. And so I got the sweet bell blend because I couldn't choose which one I wanted. And these are 68 to 85 days from transplant to harvest. So we will be adding that as well. And I like peppers in my salad as well. So everything that I've named so far, y'all, I can use in a salad or in a stir fry or in any and all other types of cooking. But then there's some key things that I need in my garden. So I have become very intentional on my herbs. I grow a lot of different types of herbs. So I figured the herb that I believe everyone could get into and grow very well in their GreenStalk would be the Italian Genovese basil. It's a super sweet, very traditional basil. It's not super fancy and all out there. It's something that everybody can enjoy. I mean, basically, you can pick them at any stage. And then we have, basil. So that's the one herb. And so then, y'all, I wanted to choose at least one summer squash. And again, lots to choose from. And yes, I do grow squash in my GreenStalks. I grew them in my GreenStalk this past season. I had some trellising around and they produced, and they didn't get the squash vine borer like the ones that I had in the ground. The GreenStalk lasted longer than any of my other squash plants. We will be doing the costata romanesco, which is, I think it's an Italian summer squash, and it has a lot of ribs on it. Beautiful squash. It's not as watery as, some of the other Fort Hooks and what is the other one out there? Some of the other green summer squash. I like this variety a lot, and I've been growing a lot of varieties that's more ribbed. They're not as, watery. When you cook them, they don't get watery. They hold their taste. It's an Italian heirloom. It has a big nutty flavor. And it's actually really pretty when you cut it up as well. 52 to 60 days of harvest on that one. And then I had to save room for some greens, right? Everybody got to have some greens. And I don't mean lettuce greens, but some collard greens. And so I went ahead and chose the Georgia Southern Collard Green that we're going to use in the GreenStalk this year. I've grown it in the GreenStalk before many times. I'm kind of warming up to the Georgia Southern Collard Green. I usually grow something else and the Georgia, but the Georgia did better for me this past season. And I know a lot of you out there love Georgia collard greens. So I chose the Georgia collard green so that you can grow with me. And then the last thing, y'all, I am really getting into beans. There are all kinds of green beans out there. Everybody's growing them. Yeah. But yellow wax beans, y'all, is becoming one of my new favorite things. That was the second largest harvest for me, was yellow wax beans. But y'all, I want to grow more. I need more yellow wax beans. So I chose the Gold Rush Yellow Wax Bean. Out of all the different brands of or varieties of yellow wax bean, the Gold Rush did best for me. And I grew 5 different varieties last year. The Gold Rush is 54 days to harvest. And y'all, I can put 5 beans per pocket. And these things are so prolific. Gold Rush did amazing. Gold Rush or yellow wax beans, they're more firm. They hold their texture better when you're cooking them than other snap beans, like a lot of the green beans. So I'm really, really enjoying the wax beans, and Gold Rush is my #1 choice. So of these 10 things, y'all, we want to grow all 10 of them in one GreenStalk outside. And they'll be all over the rest of my garden as well. But y'all, pick up one of Kim's Kozy Korner Seed Bundles at GreenStalk. The link is below so we can grow together. Y'all, that's Kim's Kozy Korner's Seed Bundle. To have to narrow down to only 10 different items to grow in my GreenStalk, I wanted to get kind of creative, but at the same time, pulling those old faithful items that I know that'll grow well for you, no matter where you may be, like a bell pepper, right? So I hope you pick up your Kim's Kozy Korner Seed Bundle. As we are getting ready to start the season, we need to get out our seed starting kits and start getting them set up as well. So when you pick up that bundle, you can also pick up one of these seed starting kits. Now I have a green one just like this one here, but this is the blueberry, which is kind of cute. I like it. And they come with the domes, so you can buy them with or without. I think they all come with domes. Yes. And there's 6 trays in here. I got 2 on top of each other, though. There are 6. And so this is how they would sit in here. The domes are underneath. We're going to fill these up here in just a moment. We're going to put our domes on, and we're going to go ahead and start some seeds today. I really like their tray, the way they have their tray set up. I really do like it. They have them numbered A through F, so A, B, C, D, E, F. So you can number them to know what you're growing in each and every one of them. And you can add that to your seed journals and track how you're growing. You can pick this up, and then the water will be right here. So you can water actually right from the middle right here, and then let the water absorb from the bottom. So we can always water from the bottom. Bottom watering is the way to go. So let me get these filled up with soil, and let's start some seeds. So I am using Happy Frog this year. I normally use a seed starting mix to start all of my seeds, but I am switching over to Happy Frog this year, so I don't have to keep switching out whether it's a seed starting mix and then I need to switch into something else later on down the road. So we are going to start with Happy Frog from beginning to end. This Happy Frog, y'all, I did it right. I went ahead and I boiled some water and I poured it over this Happy Frog about a week ago now, I'm gonna be honest with you. And there is a completely full seed starting tray, and I'm gonna do this with the other 5. These seed starting kits come in many different colors. The blueberry is the newest release color. And y'all, these are pretty nice. I forgot to tell you about this. What I like about these trays here is that they have these slits going down the side. That helps with air pruning so that the roots don't wrap around themselves. And at the bottom is completely open. So when you're trying to get that plant out, you can put your finger right in the bottom and you can push that plant up and remove it from the cell. And these cells are larger, so you don't have to keep up potting as much. Like I can start something in here and go straight from here to transplanting it to its final home. So that's what I like about these. I don't have to worry too much about all that up potting and that kind of stuff. So if you have the space to put everything in this size to begin with, That's a pretty cool way to go. And if you don't have room to do that, you can start with smaller trays and work your way up to something like this. So we have all of our containers filled up, and we are going to go ahead and start all of these seeds. Now, it's really too early for some of these things. You need to understand when you should be starting certain seeds. For example, carrots. That's a cool season crop. It can be started and actually grown outdoors with light frost. It can stand a light frost. Cool season crop. Where my beans are warm season crops. If frost hits them, they're going to die. They're not going to get sweeter. They're going to die. If frost hits a carrot, it's going to get happier. So you need to understand when is it the right time to plant these different seeds. So I'm going to start some carrots in my indoor grow space here in just a moment. I have a couple areas where my last carrot seeds didn't come up, so we're going to go ahead and put those carrots in now. For the gold rush, it's too early to be growing gold rush right now, and I prefer to start from seeds versus using transplants. So I don't need to start these right now. So we're going to put these to the side. Basil. Basil is a warm season crop. It doesn't like frost and cold and all of that kind of stuff, but it doesn't take long for it to get established, right? For the seeds to emerge, you get your true leaves and that kind of stuff. But guess what, y'all? We're going to go ahead and start some now anyway, so we can see just the value of just how good these are going to be. Where did I put it? Okay, here it is right here. Always follow the instructions on your seed pack. This says you should start these 4 to 6 weeks before transplanting outside, but you can grow basil inside as well, so we're not going to worry about that. Seeds should germinate in 5 to 10 days. And so we are going to put 3 in each one. And I'm just doing 3 cells of them, y'all. Okay, 4. It ended up being 4 in each one. And then as far as how deep to plant them, follow the instructions. The instructions says seeds only need to be a 1/4 inch deep. So in other words, y'all, right on top. I'm just going to mix them in real good. That's what I'm going to do right there. Mix in the 4 seeds that I have in each one of these pockets. And once they germinate, you can cut away the weaker plants and save 1 strong plant or 2. I just hate, if something's growing, I like to let it grow. So there's the basil. The basil's in. The summer squash. It's a summer or warm season plant. It can't stand growing outside in the cold that we have right now, right? It needs to grow in the summer after the last frost. And seeds usually start super quick. But guess what, y'all? We're going to go ahead and start a couple of these anyway, just so you can see how they're going to grow. And they usually germinate in about 5 days, it says. And when they germinate, y'all, they take off. I have 12 seeds, so I don't want to mess all of my seeds up. I'm only putting 1 in each pocket, and the depth is a 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep. And y'all, I'm not going to let these seeds go bad. I got a greenhouse I think we're going to be moving into. Hopefully we'll be able to show you that in the next month or so. Cucumbers are warm season crops as well. You don't want to plant them outside in the frost. But we're going to start a few right now. And you can start from seeds, y'all. You don't have to wait for a transplant. You can start them from seeds right in the ground, or you can transplant them out. And I'm putting 2 per pocket. I chose this one because I used to grow this one a long time ago. It did really well with those cucumber beetles that seems to love Southwest Ohio and probably many other places as well. And I was planning on bringing that one back this year anyway. And look at that. It's part of my seed bundle. Cherry falls. 5 to 10 days to germinate. For these seeds, it says 1/8 of an inch. So basically barely cover it up. And we're going to start 3 of those. I'm putting 2 per pocket for the cherry falls. And don't get so worried that I planted it way too deep, because if you did, y'all, seeds want to grow. They want to live. It might take them just a little longer to germinate now. Just don't go too deep. But tomatoes are warm season crops. They can't handle the frost either. Collard greens, cool season crop. And they get sweeter with a little touch of frost. Now, if it's negative 20 degrees, y'all, I don't care what kind of crop it is, it's not going to be too happy. But for the collard greens, I usually start them from seeds wherever I'm planting them. But we're going to go ahead and start some transplants. We're actually going to start 12 transplants. And I'm going to put, my goal is to put, let me say that. My goal is to put 2 to 3 per pocket. I don't want to have to go back and thin them out. I think it said a 1/2 inch deep. Collard greens can get big. I like to pick my collard greens when they're young and tender. And I kind of do a cut and come again. I cut a little bit off and then I let them grow a little longer and I cut a few more off. That's how I like to do it. And I have a place for these collards to go. So I'm super excited about that. I started growing collards indoors last year, and y'all, they came out really, really good. So being able to eat some fresh collards versus something that's been canned or frozen is quite delicious. And y'all, they melted in my mouth. They were so good. And last year was the first year I grew them indoors. But we definitely will grow a ton of these outdoors. Y'all, we made collard greens for our holiday meal, and I thought I had made enough for everybody. I thought I'd made enough for about 20 people, and when the first batch of people finished eating, y'all, those greens were gone. They said they were so delicious. All right, the next thing we're going to start are our Megatron. These are our jalapeno peppers. We're going to plant them a 1/4 inch deep. We are going to put 1 seed per pocket because I only have 10 and I don't want to lose these seeds. I overwinter my peppers, but I don't overwinter hot peppers. So we will definitely have these ready to go and growing nicely when the season gets here. And then all we need to do is move them outside. Peppers, warm season crop. They do not like the frost at all. So you definitely want to protect them from frost if you happen to have like a one-off day of frost. Same thing with sweet peppers. Warm season crop. They don't want that frost. Oh, I love it. I love it. So the interesting thing about these particular seeds for this Sweet Bell blend, y'all, the seeds, they have colors on them. Where did I read this? The YOLO Wonder is a red colored seed. It turns bright red. And then the Coral Belle is the natural color seed and it turns orange. And the Canary Bell is a yellow colored seed and it turns a brilliant yellow. So the seeds are color coded, which is pretty cool. I got 3 different colors. And so we're going to put in 2 seeds per pocket just so I can make sure something germinates. And I like the fact that the seeds are color coded so you know exactly what you're getting. And the last thing we're going to start, y'all, is the red cells. I'm doing a whole tray of the red cell lettuce. Now, one of the other things is I'm putting, I think, 2 seeds per cell. Lettuce is a cool season crop. It typically doesn't like super hot 90-degree weather. It'll bolt. It'll go to seed faster. But it can stand a light frost typically. So we have some cool season crops. We have some warm season crops. And then I have a couple of things that we're going to actually start from seeds. We're not going to worry about transplanting. Now, I like to tamp down every one of my trays just a little bit. It might be a little early for me to start sowing some of these items, but it may not be early for you. And so I want to kind of give you an idea of how to do this so you can start sowing seeds when it's time to sow for your area and your zone. When I say warm season, I mean cannot handle frost. When I say cool season, it can handle frost, but it doesn't like it super hot. So we got everything in here. Now we're going to give everything a nice watering. So we are going to start by putting water right in the center here. So we're going to put water in right in the center. It's going to go into the bottom of this tray, and it's going to soak it up from the bottom. One of the other things I like to do when I'm starting my seeds, I like to give them a little spray on top. When you give them that little spray on top, they will pull that water in from the bottom faster. I'm going to just remove this one so you can see there's water in the bottom, and it's absorbing it from the bottom. And then we're going to add our little domes. By adding the domes, it creates a little greenhouse, and it keeps you from having to water so much. So there they are. Here's our first seed starter kit for the year. We have it in blueberry. We're starting the first seeds for this upcoming season. And y'all, we're using the Kozy Korner Seed Collection. This is the Kozy Korner Bundle with all of the seeds that I'm going to be growing in my GreenStalks this year. And I'm hoping you will grow these with me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move over to my grow tent and go ahead and grow some of these carrots right now in one of my GreenStalks. I'm going to sprinkle my seeds right there in those two pockets. Coming by with my little bit of soil because they don't have to be deep. And I'm going to spray them in. So you'll be able to see that I am growing GreenStalks indoors. And we will have, hopefully, some carrots growing in here in the very near future. So there it is, y'all. The new seed starter kit in blueberry with the 10 different types of veggies from the Kozy Korner Bundle. If you want to pick up either one of these items, y'all, if you want to pick it up, the links are below that will take you to the website and all of the wonderful GreenStalk items, including the Kozy Korner Seed Bundle. If you have any questions, please hit me up on my email or in the comments, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. But these are the 10 varieties that I feel confident that we can grow in our GreenStalk this year. And so choose these and grow these with me. So until next time, and I hope there'll be another time that you choose to hang out with me at Kim's Kozy Korner. Talk to you again real soon. Bye.